This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning, everybody. And you are here for a model school session called Chrome Extensions for Remote Learning and Teaching. And I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share this screen over. I think I'll use this one over here. So I have three screens. So don't think I'm being antisocial when it doesn't look like I'm looking at you. I have one screen here, one screen here. My camera sits right in the middle, and that is screen three, and it's the one I don't look at all. But after I did this for about 3 days, I was like, yep, I can't function on just my laptop screen. So I needed to go into the office and get some more screens so that I could do some other things as well. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go right into the presentation and we are going to start right there. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Bond, Virginia Bond, Bond like James and Virginia like the state. And I am an ISS Integration of Technology Training Specialist, which basically means that if you want to learn how to do it, I probably might know it or can learn it or know a little bit about it. And basically, I've been in education since 1989. I was a music teacher at Salmon River, graduated from Crane. For my North Country peeps in the room, because I know there's some here. Um, I grew up in Worcester, down by the down between Cobleskill and Oneonta, and then came to Northern New York and said I would never stay here to my father my first year, and I've been here ever since 1984. And yep, should never say those things because they never come true. And I went, I got a job right out of college, went to Salmon River, taught there for 27 and a half years. And then in 2015, I came to NARIC to be a training specialist. And basically, I support software and any kind of tool that a teacher would use in a classroom. I'm actually in a transition mode right now, like you guys are. I'm also picking up Frontline, so I'm working on the evaluative piece of Frontline as well, so that as well as managing model schools catalog. So that's we have 95 schools that do that. So while you guys are like doing sessions, I'm learning as well, right along with people. So today's session is really about Chrome extensions, how to use them. So I am a Google certified trainer, which means I have level 1 and level 2 cert as well as the trainer certification. That's just a few of my certifications, but those are ones that are important for today. And when I built this training, my thought process behind it was we're kind of in this new environment and we need to have some tools that are going to allow us to do things a little bit more efficiently. I'm always about efficiency because we want as much time back as we can get. So the first thing that I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to turn on an extension. And I'm going to turn on extension that I'm going to show you later. It's going to be one of the ones that I think is really great for people. It's called the Move It. That's the actual name of the extension. It's called Move It. And I am going to set it for 20-minute intervals. So you're going to see what it does in 20 minutes, okay? And don't worry, this is going to be in my stuff. I'm finding for myself that I'm very stagnant. I'm not moving anywhere near as much as I usually am. I usually set my phone when I'm in the office for every 40 or 50 minutes, and I will get up and walk around. I'm not even doing that right now because I'm home. I'm comfortable. I'm home. So I'm used to looking at a screen. So you guys, for the most part, probably are not used to looking at a screen for the high chunks of time that you're doing it now. So we're going to use the Move It extension for right now. So many extensions. I have an extension manager for my extensions. Okay. So that's how you know when you have a problem, right? When you have to have something to manage what you're trying to do. So that's one of the things that have has made it a little easier. So and the goal, what I really focused in is on things for you, the teacher, and for you to use with your students as well. This is not all the be all, do all, end all. And I have time at the end of the session for questions. We do have a crowdsourcing document within our information. And the reason for that is because when we get into things, I want us to be able to add to it and add ideas of how to use it. And that will be valuable for everyone, not just a few of us. So good morning, Kara. So I think, and Emily, I saw you sneak in there. You didn't sneak in. I just was busy doing something else. So here we go. You'll have what you need. So I need to give a very quick disclaimer. I need you to understand data and privacy wise, I am showing you tools that may not be approved by your district. So not all tools are Google tools. Just because we get them through Chrome doesn't mean they are from Google. So we're really talking about EdLaw 2D here. There has not been a statement from State Ed or the Board of Regents that they are going to loosen the guidelines on EdLaw 2D. Do I think it's coming? Oh, good God, I hope so, because it would make life much easier. But I just want you to understand I'm going to show you tools that may have to get approved by your DPO. So if you don't know who that is, it's the person who's in charge of your data and privacy. Now, I've tried to pick ones that are highly used. They are rated by many, many people, and I'm going to, when we walk through that process, you'll understand what I mean. So I'm just going to read this. Please follow your district's data privacy and security guidelines. We strongly encourage you to read the privacy policies of any non-district approved application to ensure that your students' identities are properly protected. If you are unsure whether a resource is approved by the district, please contact your school. Please visit Stay Safe Online for more information or for useful information. Link to sites does not imply endorsement by NARIC. So I just have to read that to you just so when you say Virginia says a lot of things. I don't make statements about EdLaw 2D except this. If it does not require your students to log in, it's a moot point, okay? If you can use a product, any product out there, without your student logging into it, it doesn't matter because it's not collecting data on your kids. So that's what we need to know about EdLaw 2D. And a lot of times you can use a component, you, the teacher, can use a component, and you don't have to, if it's not collecting data on your kids, it's okay if it makes you log in. So just understanding that. Okay, so what are extensions? I told you we're going right down to the nitty gritty, and I have a picture there of an extension cord because that's exactly what it does. Extensions are plugins that enhance the functionality and productivity of your Chrome browser. This is super important, Chrome browser. So for all my Apple fans, it doesn't work on Safari. For all my Edge fans, all one of you out there somewhere, just kidding, there are any in the whole world, it doesn't work on Edge, okay? It doesn't work on Firefox. That being said, Firefox has its own set. Edge has its own set. Safari has its own set. Everybody has their own set of extensions, but these extensions that we're going to talk about exist for the Chrome browser. Everybody good with that? Yeah, pretty easy, right? It's a pretty simple thought. I really wish that I could see the chat. I wonder. I'm just pushing buttons to see what, oh, look at that. I could see all of you in the room at one time. It's like the Brady Bunch now. Oh, I'll keep you like that. I like that better. All right. So what are they? They're smaller tools that give more features within Chrome. How to install? So you go to the chrome.google.com/webstore. So if you're like, I don't know where to get them, if you just go and open up a tab and you type in web store, or you type something that resembles web store, you get the first link. It's always the Chrome Web Store. So people think it's like webstore.google.com. The way to remember it is it belongs to Google. No, it belongs to Chrome. So it's chrome.google.com/webstore. I don't think I ever just go and type in web store. I've used it enough that I know the address for it. So can it be globally installed? So if I just spoke want, this is a little deeper because I think it's valuable. It absolutely can. And that means that the person that's in charge of your Google domain, so your admin, the Google admin, not your administrator, they have the ability to push an extension to the teachers and to the students. And that has a lot of benefit. If you find something you really like, you may be like, wow, that would be great if we could push it to your kids. A lot of this is how your Google domain, so that's the part that's after the @ sign in your email. So ours is @NARIC, how your Google domain is set up. They are set up in what are called OUs. This is the quick mini Google lesson. In an OU is an organizational unit, and they take people and they put them in the organizational units and they give them certain permissions by those organizational units. For example, typically teachers have full rights. 11th and 12th graders pretty much have pretty high rights. Like they may have access to their email to have outgoing email. They may have access to videos. They may have a lot different access than like your 9th and 10th graders who may have access to email, but only to people that are whitelisted. They may have access to a couple other things. Your juniors and seniors may have access to Google Meet. So they can meet with college professors, or they can meet with a college campus, or they can go and do an interview virtually. So there's a lot of different options all the way down through to your younger students. So having those OUs set up correctly allows you, or allows this Google admin to do what's called a global install. So if you find a extension that's really, really great for like 3rd and 4th graders, your Google admin can go into the admin console and push that to them. And the next time the student restarts their machine, bing, they have the extension available to them. That is a huge benefit. So where do they go? So they go right up here at the end of your Omnibar. So your Omnibar is what we typically call the address bar. But because it's Google, they have a new name for everything. And Omni means anything, all, omnipresent, omniscient. So it goes up here to the bar that does all things, and they go to the end. Now, if you have a lot like me, they will run over here into your ... section. And I may have backed these out a little so they don't, oh no, I still have a few in there. And I have a few that are black in nature, so they're hard to see. I know that they're there because I've got a few different pieces. So I use the black. I'm in dark mode for my Chrome browser because when I do a training like this, it's much easier for you to see the extensions on a black background, unless they're black, and then they're really hard to see. So what devices can get a Chrome extension? A PC, a Mac, like a MacBook, a Chromebook, a laptop, and like a Surface tablet, anything that's running in the Chrome browser. So they don't push to iPads. So even I think they may in the Chrome browser, but I'm okay. That's a hard, I don't know. That's a hard maybe. So next one. So how do you use them? I said I left the little thing here that says click to add. Sometimes I get it all cleaned up the way I want it. Sometimes I don't. So how to run them? You literally click on them and they'll work. That's what I like about them. You click on the icon for the extension up in the Omnibar to turn it on and to make it work. So where can they be used? So they typically add functionality to something you want to do in Chrome, like a web page, or it could be in Google itself. So there's all those pieces. So can they be disabled? They absolutely can. So disabling means I'm going to turn it off. So can I turn them on? Can I turn them off? They can be. So I can right click on extension right here. I right click on it and then I manage my extensions. And it brings me into a list right here, or brings me to one, and I can turn it on and off. This used to say enable, disable. Most normal humans don't understand really what that means as far as an extension. They're just like, I want to turn it off. So you literally just turn it off or on. And if I come back in here, this is where you have, so when I say I have an extension habit, my friends, I'm not lying, right? I got lots, right? But you notice I have a lot of gray going on, right? There's lots of gray. That's because I don't keep them all running at the same time. So I only do a few at a time. So later on, when we get into this, I'm going to show you the extension manager that I use that makes managing my extensions even easier so that I don't have to manage them. I can actually just turn them on, turn them off, turn them on. I click on it to turn it on, click on it to turn it off. It saves time, and I think it's much easier to use. Can you remove them? I absolutely can. The same thing I just did a few minutes ago. I can right click on it, and you'll see you have remove from Chrome. So why would you want to remove an extension? I do get this question a lot. Sometimes when you install an extension, all of a sudden your Chromebook or your laptop starts to do strange things, and they call that basically the extension has taken over your device. So there are times that you have to back yourself up and you say, oh, I might need to remove that one. One of the things that I typically do is that the extensions that I choose, I only choose ones that I consider to be highly rated, that have a lot of stars and have a lot of reviews. And I actually read reviews. So we're going to do that today. I won't pick things that are pretty low level, and I will not pick anything under 4 stars. Absolutely won't do it because I want it to be reviewed enough that I know that it's safe. Now, I'm not saying anything about checking data and privacy. That really becomes somebody else's yank, for lack of a better word. And I'm sure that I do give our data and privacy team probably heart failure when they look at my Chromebook and my laptop, but it's okay. So, do they use memory? So, do they use resources? Yeah, they absolutely do. So, they use memory and resources all the time. It's open. So, when you look at the list that I have, and if I go back into anyone that I have and I look at manage extensions and I come back in here and you look at the list that I have, so it's pretty extensive, right? I have a lot. I probably have over 75 extensions installed. That being said, I don't use them all at the same time. They're not all turned on. So yes, they do use memory and they do use resources anytime that Chrome is open. I have 75 installed. It's not slowing me down. And I do not have what I would call a robust laptop. I have like just a laptop. So on my Chromebook, again, it doesn't slow them down. So I think it's just because I don't have them all turned on at the same time. That's part of it. And there's reasons that I don't have them all turned on. Many of them do the same kind of task. So if I had them all turned on at the same time, I'd have just things overpiling on each other. So I tend to not turn them all on at the same time. I just turn them on when I need them, and when I'm done with them, I turn them off. It just makes my life easier. Did someone ask a question? Yep, let me go see. Sorry. Oh, so Lori, that's the next thing I'm going to say. So do you have to install them on both devices or does it follow you? So that's a good question. So if you're logged into Chrome, so not logged into Google, my friends, this is a big mistake that most people don't understand. I'm going to grab something real quickly. Hopefully it's not my cat. No. So on my Chromebook, right? So this is my Chromebook. On my Chromebook, when I log into my Chromebook and I open it up and I log in, I get the login screen. Well, I usually get a login screen. I have mine so I don't have to log into it every time. When I log into my Chromebook, a Chromebook automatically logs into Google and the Chrome browser at the same time. It's an automatic feature within a Chromebook. Okay. On my laptop, I have to log in to Chrome and to Google. 2 separate logins. We are talking about Chrome, so you must be logged into Chrome. And this is where this goes. Up in here, it's into the dots, and it's into the settings. And when I come up here into my settings, and Lori, thanks, I didn't know I could keep my chat open while everything else is going. In my settings right here, you'll see who you're logged in as. So I use my Chrome account with my personal email account. I'm going to be really honest. Why does Virginia do that? Virginia does that because NARIC limits the amount of extensions that I can use. And when you're a Google trainer and you have to train in extensions all the time, and you're doing special ed trainings, you need to have access to those different extensions. So I just use my Chrome settings excuse me, I use my personal account on a Chromebook. You can't do that. You get one account. You don't get to toggle back and forth on a managed. Let me rephrase that, on a managed Chromebook. Okay. So Emily, if I have 2 Google accounts, do I have to install the extension twice? So the question is more along these lines, Emily. It's a really good question. So I have multiple Chrome accounts, right? I literally have 25 Gmail accounts. They come from many, many districts. I never log in and out of my Chrome. I only log in and out of my Google. So to me, that's a no, Emily. I use my personal account, whatever my top one is, and then I can log back and forth in and out. Because these are attached, the Chrome extensions are attached to Chrome, not to Google. And that's really hard for people to understand. It's going to make more sense as we do this. It just takes time to understand how that works. So Emily, no, you don't have to put them on twice. Now, if you're only using your personal account at home and you're only using your school account at school, then yes, you do. Then you do have to install them twice. Okay. So the next one, and we already did how to get. Hopefully, does that all make sense what we just went through? So let's go look. Perfect. All right. Look at that. So let's go shopping. Yay! We're gonna go Chrome shopping, right? I need to go shopping, by the way. I've been so good. I haven't gone to the store. I haven't gone to Amazon. I haven't even gone to Wish and bought anything, which is kind of amazing. So I went into the Chrome store. So Chrome.google.com. And move should be like pop. Oh, you know what? You gotta start why did that not start? I was all excited because I was like, that's gonna work. Why did it not work? Oh, wow. Because I'm like, wow, that's weird. Why is it not working? I have been talking for more than 15 minutes. I may have to uninstall that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove it and I'm gonna put a new one in. So this is the Chrome store. Let's walk our way through it so you'll understand what it looks like. I'm actually going to go move it back onto my device so we can see it. Let's understand what this is. This across the top is an advertisement. So just ignore that person here. This is the Chrome account I'm logged into. Okay. So I'm logged in with my Virginia Bond at Gmail. So if you notice, I have another one in there. I have a VBond at SRK12. When I am tech integrating at Salmon River, I have to use theirs. And the reason for that, I have to use that account is because it's managed. So they will not just let me go get other things. And one of the things about that, getting a lot of feedback from somebody. Rick, do you have 2 devices logged in? Yep, that was it. Yeah, I turned one off. I just muted it because I was getting feedback from the 2. Okay. So, at Salmon, because it's managed, they only allow certain extensions through. So there's times I have to really use theirs and see what it's like to see what they're allowing through for their teachers so that I can get some other things whitelisted. So here's where I search. Here's the 2 options. So if you happen to be on a Chromebook right now, you'll see another one in here. They have apps. You can't install an app on a laptop or a desktop. They took them out. And just for fun, they're taking them out for Chromebooks at the end of 2020 as well. They will no longer exist. So if you push apps to your kids, They're taking that functionality out. The reason behind that is because, quite honestly, an app is usually just a web page or something for people to go to. They're really believing that people are starting to have the ability to understand that functionality so that we don't have to have people installing things. So just so we know, there are all kinds of categories. You can see there's lots in here. You'll also notice if you look, education is not an option. So I can't come in and just look for education because it's not going to help me. So that's a bummer. So what are we really looking for? There's all kinds of things. So runs offline might be helpful. By Google is always good because we have an EdLaw 2D compliancy agreement for schools using Google right now. It does not cover third extensions, but we know that Hangouts would be tested by Google would be tested by Google, so it would be more safe. You can have that one. Free is okay. I will not show you one today that is not free. So let me just show you this one right here. The Zoom scheduler. Just because an app exists doesn't mean you have to get the extension for it. Okay? You can still just go to the web page and use it. So I use Zoom not very regularly, but I do use it. I don't feel the need to put the extension on because I don't use it with enough regularity that I would need it. Available on Android, works with Google Drive. There's all of these things. Here's what I always click. I always click this button right here. I always want to make sure that anything I get is 4 or more stars. I'm not going down in here. Unfortunately, I call it the dregs. I don't go into the dregs. I only do 4 or more. And I am going to look for Move It because it is the one I lost, that I just uninstalled. So there's the Move It. I'm going to go through the process and show you how I install. So I'm going to, first of all, I do a couple different things than most people do. I right click on the name of the extension and I open it in a new link. There is reasons behind this. Trust me, I promise. I'm not insane. Well, I might be, but that's besides the point. So when I come in here and I look at it, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm looking at the stars. Okay, it's got like 3 and a little bit. Well, I'm going to keep it because I know I like it. And it's been rated by over 20,000 plus users. Okay, that's good. I like that. And then I'm going to see what it does. Busy working at your computer, spending hours searching the internet, get active, tells you how to remove it. Here's also other ones that are very similar to it. That's also nice to see. But what I'm going to do is then I'm going to look at reviews. And people are like, you don't do this every time. I'm like, I do it every time because I want to make sure what other people are saying about it. So these are kind of old, right? So can turn it off or desired get for students and teachers alike. And it was really bad. It took all my information. So that's interesting. One person has said that, right? I'm not seeing, here's another person that says, the app is really bad. Okay, first of all, this person doesn't know what they're saying because it's not an app, it's an extension. It keeps popping up. It keeps popping up and I want to delete it so badly. I agree with you. It won't let me delete it. So annoying. So that's not true either. So you can see what I like about reading these reviews is that I'm reading through them back and forth. I can see what I like. So I can't tell if it's making a difference, but I feel better just knowing I'm doing something besides sitting behind a desk. So some of these are funny. Some of them are, some people are very creative when they write reviews. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it. I'm going to add to Chrome. It's going to say, do I want to add Move It? And I'm going to say yes. It's going to add the extension. So it's going to say, use the extension by clicking on this icon. So manage your extensions by clicking extensions in the tool menu. Okay. So you may get a pop-up that says, do you know that this will use this, 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 and this? That's going to be different for every person, and it really does have to do with the district that you're in. So I'm going to set it for 10 minutes now. No, I lied. I'm going to set it for 5. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to be very sad because I used it the other day and it worked great. So I'm going to be sad if it doesn't work right now. So that's how you install an extension. It's really quite easy. again. So you're looking to make sure that you're logged in with the account that you want it added to. And then, all right, so does that make sense? Everybody good? I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because we're just going to take a quick, I am going to stop for a couple minutes because I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Questions and unmute to ask a question. Okay, Kathy, excuse me. It's a really good question.
I tried to do the move it. It says locked by administrator. So would that mean that I probably can't add any extensions until I ask?
I don't know.
Okay.
So this is different from district to district. This is one of those things. It really has to do with the admins, the tech admins at your building. So you're at Greater Johnstown. I would say when we get into the crowd sharing, you may want to look at some of the ideas that people put in. That's how you fight for things, right? You say, this is really good. Ooh, Lori, you got it to work, right? So it came up on your Chromebook. Okay, Lori, you ready? Is it still there? Can you still see it? Or did you? Okay. So Lori, go to the bottom. I'm going to stop. I stopped sharing. And 1, 2, 3 on your laptop, put share content. So push the third button up. I want you to show what it looks like. Since mine is not coming up, it'll push that button, the third one in share content. It'll pop everybody up and we should be able to see it. It's a great big red screen and it shows you, it gives you an exercise or something to do. I gave this to my daughter who is a strength and conditioning coach and she loves it. With me, Lori? She's like, nope, not an idea. You can still ask questions.
It's not working.
Oh, the share it's not working?
No.
Okay, I'm like, yeah, it's working. You told me it's working. Push the third button in, and then it will ask which screen you want to share. Oh, I know why. You can't see it because it's under the Move It. That's why. Forget it. You can't do it. It's stuck. So what happens is you get a red screen, and once you have the red screen, you have to turn it off, right? So some people hate it. I'm going to be really honest about it. Some people hate it. Some people love it. I'm a huge person of I love it because it does kind of tell me to do something and it does chunk my learning a little bit more. What I like about it, it's really good with kids. For kids that are working on something for a long period of time, it's good to give them something so that they are taking their time.
I set it for the 5-minute mark and it actually set it on both devices.
Oh yeah, so that's how it should work.
Yep.
It should honestly work. I want to know why mine's not working. So God only knows. But I have so many things. Maybe that's just decided. Well, I'm glad it works. What did it have you do? Because the first time it wanted me to do jumping jacks in the middle of I was in the office when I used it. And I was like, yeah, not gonna happen. So I literally just stopped and did some stretches, which is not weird to see when you're down in Albany because people are moving all over the place. And I use it more when I'm in Albany than I do when I'm in my office at Chateauguay because more than I did when I was in Malone. Malone, I have a standing desk, right? So I could stand up and and I will do that. I will set it and I will change every 30 minutes. I'll stand up for 30 minutes. I'll sit for 30 minutes. So I do that all the time. When I'm in Albany, I don't have a standing desk, so I tend to use it more there. So the next thing we're going to search for is we're going to go back into the Chrome store. We're going to close this out, and I'm going to show you Extensity. So we're going to look for Extensity, not Extensify. Extensity. And it looks like this. So you can click on it. You can try this process. You're going to right click on it, open a new tab. So you kind of get used to this process of looking at them and we'll see what it is. So Extensity, my friends, is my extension manager. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So don't install it yet. I'm going to show you what it does and then you can tell me if you like it. We're here and if you decide you like it, I'm going to have you install it. I want to show you a couple of things that are in here that I kind of glossed over because I just always do that. Down at the bottom, underneath the picture, it says right here if it's compatible with your device. And I think that's really valuable because it tells you if it's going to run for you. So, and I always think of this, there's sometimes sometimes when I try to, if I go to the app store, say like for an iPad, and I find something I really, really like and I want to put in the iPad, it doesn't work on the mini, right? And it'll work, it won't work on the mini, or it'll work on my phone, but it won't work on the mini. I get so frustrated. So this is always nice to know that they have that. And it kind of gives you a little overview of what it does. So I'm going to show you. Oh, and there it is. Oh yeah, I got to jog on the spot for 10 seconds. So you see, you actually do it. And if you try to click out of it before 15 seconds, it doesn't let you, right? So I'm going to jog in my spot for 15 seconds. I probably talk for 15 seconds. It literally just gets me moving. My daughter, like I said, who's a strength and conditioning coach, she loves this. And she went through and she snuck through on all the trainers in the gym and put it on all their computers. They had left them all open and she put them all on it. She said they don't do anything. So I'm gonna send that a little more out to like 20
The
minutes.
wall sit position for 20 seconds.
Right? So they're like, yeah, you're like, no, I'll just sit in my chair for 20 seconds. You don't necessarily have to do what it says, but they have all different kinds of things that at least are getting us moving. I love it for kids because I feel like for them, it's number one, it stops you from doing what you're doing and it stops kids from doing what you're doing. And it literally takes over your screen.
Yeah.
So it's that nice big red, like, hey, all right. So here's Extensity for me. I like it so much. It's my second one. And when I click on it, I get a full list of my extensions. So you can see, quite honestly, I have a lot, right? We already know this. And I can turn my extensions on by just clicking on them. Just like that. That's all I have to do. I don't have to go over and find an extension, right click on it, manage it, turn it on or off, and then close this window. It's 4 steps less. And I'm a huge person of the 4 steps less. It just makes me happy. I want to be as efficient as possible. So it is the reason I got this was I do a lot of special ed trainings, which is a lot of what you see in here. Like App Reader Cloud, Auto Text Expander, Awesome Screenshot, Beeline Reader. These are all different things that I use when I do other trainings for other people. So if I want things, I just turn them on and I turn them off, and it just makes my life so much easier. So there's some settings in here that are really nice. You can see, turn the entire app off. I can even turn the app, I can turn the extension off by just clicking on it. I just toggle it here. So, but let's turn it back on, keeps my same settings. So it tells me my Chrome settings. That will take me into my Chrome settings if I want to go back out there. And I'll be like, yeah, no, not really interested in that. Thanks, though. Right? And now, if you notice, they all disappeared. So that's the freaky thing. When you do that, you're like, oh my God, they're gone. They're not. They're still here. They just sit in a little different place. So now when I use them, basically it pulls them all out. So, oh, that was not what I wanted to do. Restore that one. We're going to do that in a little bit later. Yeah, not that either. So good. Go away. Go away, go away, go away. Sorry. Sometimes I get a little overzealous there. All right, so let's pull this one back out. So Extensity is going to come back out. So when I look at Extensity, I also have, it says who are the profiles that are attached to it. Well, this is mine, and it shows you how it works, and it has, I could put a profile name up there. That is not really anything I ever need, so I never, ever, ever, ever use it. So the next one down, the next one over is settings. So this is when I can make some changes. So what are my options when I look at my Extensity? I can have a header at the top, which I do want. I can group my extensions and apps. So I have in my listing, which you might not see because the apps are going away, so I don't get too excited about them. My apps are all down at the bottom. And my extensions are at the top. That's another reason I like it because it keeps them nice and neat away from each other. It could show my apps first. And it could do this. So it could show enabled extensions at the top. So if I do that, what happens in my listing is only the stuff. Oh, I think I have to save it and then come back out. I'll show you what that looks like. I really hate the fact that I lost, because I'm in extensions, Extensity. Sorry guys, when I gotta pop this out, I'm gonna close that for a minute and then things will get a little better, right? it'll come out of this. Go away. Thank you. When I come back into this right here into my Extensity, you'll see now, if I have it that way, where my ones that I'm using come to the top, they're all right there so I can see what they are. This sounds great. I used it for a little while and then I didn't like it because I was like, man, I got so many. What's the name of that extension? Because I don't always remember what it's called, but I almost always remember what it looks like. And so that's a really good point for me to make right now. Extension names change all the time. So, for an example, Save to Keep is no longer called Save to Keep. I think it's called the Google Keep Chrome extension. Like they changed the whole name. So you have to know what it looks like. That's going to be way more important, but you may not remember what it's called. So I really like my extensions in alphabetical order. That's just the option that I like. And I also want to show the option icons for each item. So that's how I keep mine. And you can see you actually can tweet from here. I can share Extensity on Twitter, sure, if I wanted to, but not at all. You can do some stuff on Facebook. I have no idea what this star is. What I do like is you can look, if you know it's like called screenshot, it will look for all the times it finds the word screen. And then you can actually do some management in those as well, right from that Chrome extension. I do really like that. I just think for me, that is a functionality that works really, really well. So yeah, I have an extension for my extension manager. I'm not too proud of it. All right, so makes sense. So now what I'm gonna do, so if you like Extensity, go and install it. And I am going to remove my extensions out here that I want. So those I'm gonna leave my dark ones in there because they'll be easier to find. Yeah, great view. Text on this page. I don't think I'm going to use that one today. Oh, that one I definitely need. So there is one, oh, sorry. There's one that I use all the time, and it's my Cisco WebEx extension. That's the one that I'm using right now. It allows my Cisco to run a little better, so I just leave that one always on. Questions for right now? What do you think about Extensity? I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to add the first one in. Only if I can spell it. Extensity. So that one is quite honestly, if you don't have that many, it's okay. The other reason I like it is when I have a lot of, when I'm working with students, I've lost a window. So I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to try to go find the window. I might have closed it. Yes, I did. That's why I can't find it because it's not there. So when students get a lot of extensions installed, sometimes you can have an extension that they use in science that they might not need in English. So you might want them to turn them on and turn them off. So teaching students how to turn them on and turn them off is very valuable. I'll give a good example of this. I was working with a parent called me. She's actually my hairdresser. She called me. She's like, I cannot get this to work for my son here. I'm alone. I don't understand what the teacher wants. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me what it's asking. She said, it's asking me, or the teacher wants him to open this PDF with Kami. And I said, okay. She's like, I can't get it to work. And I'm like, okay. So like we use WebEx and she shared her screen and she was having a lot of problems. What they had done is they had put a PDF reader in there too. So Kami and the PDF reader kind of do the same thing. So one will show dominance and it doesn't, it may be different. Well, we couldn't turn off the PDF reader for the kid. And so we couldn't get it to open with Kami. So no matter what we did, so that's one of those times where it's really good if a student has the ability to turn an extension on and extension off. So, all right. Let's go to the next one. What do you think about Extensity? You like that one? Yeah, you got to talk to me now because I'm not going to let you get away with nothing.
I like it, but I don't have too many extensions right now.
If you don't have a lot, you don't need it, right? So, but it's something good to keep in your mind as far as an extension manager. I think it's the easiest one out there at this point that I've seen. Trust me, I will swap it out for something if I ever need to find something a little harder. So in this document right here, so if you're following along in here, you no longer have to go, look, yeah, see, if you don't have too many, it's not too hard. But I'll trust me, if when we go to put read and write on, if you don't already have read and write on, you're gonna want to turn it off because it drives you crazy. I hate read and write, and I know teachers love it, and I hate it because it overtakes my Google Drive account, and I don't like it. So I want the ability to turn it off quickly. So that's one of those times where I will definitely install. So in here, in the side presentation that I made for you, the click to ads will take you right to the web store to add it. So what I've done is I've gone through and added in your extension for you. So we're going to go to the next one. So the next one is my favorite because you can tell by where it lives on my Omnibar. So they're pretty much in order almost of importance of how I use them because I don't want to reach far for them. They're a little off, but so it's a Bitly. So you've never used a Bitly before. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go out to that Chrome extensions document that I made, and I'm going to click right on the Bitly button. So what it does is it makes that shortened URL that I need, and I'm going to check it down at the bottom. I'm going to save it. Okay, so it was automatically saved. It says copy. And then I'm going to close that really quickly. And I'm going to come down here. They did copy it to my clipboard. I'm just going to put it down in there. So the reason for a Bitly is that it's easier for students to type that address than it is to type that address. If I gave you that address to type, Rick would have it right because I know that he knows how to keyboard. I would be here for a million years trying to get that right, that one up at the top. It would never happen, right? So this is a shortened way. But there's something else that I like about this Bitly is that if I come back and click that again, I can actually customize those. It's called customize the back half. So that's what I want to do. I want to customize my back half. I'm just kidding. Sorry, my brain went to a really weird place all of a sudden. I'm just going to call this a crowdsource bond. It's not shorter, but it's a lot easier for kids to type. Okay, let's just call crowd bond. Oh my God, I did not type that even close to correct. And I'm going to save it. And it's going to tell me if it's okay. Oh yeah, it is. Go figure. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to close it. And I'm going to do this. https bit.ly/crowd bond. Okay. So that link will also get me where I need to be. There's more. So the best part of the Bitly is this. Those of you doing stuff with your kids, if you go to Bitly, bitly.com, with the account that's logged in, it keeps analytics on your Bitlys. So if you really want to know if things are being used, that is really important. So I did a presentation yesterday, right? And the presentation got 27 clicks. So I know that I had 81 people in the session. So 27 people grabbed the document, went in, grabbed it, took it, made their own copy. Most people just took notes. This is a really nice thing to have. So if you give a presentation to students and you say to them, I want you to read through it, and you're like thinking, yeah, I wonder if they did. A Bitly gives you the ability to go check and see if they went into it and looked at it. Doesn't tell you how far they went into it, but at least you know they clicked on it. And if they say, yeah, we did it, and you go look and there wasn't one single click, you're like, liar, you did not, right? I think that's very valuable to have analytics. I like the fact that it keeps that. I am just using a free account. I'm not using anything special whatsoever, nothing. So this is a free account. There's no limit. I mean, they're keeping analytics on the trainings I offer. Okay, we'll have at it. I mean, what are they going to do? me down for them. I mean, there's nothing in here when we talk about Ed Law 2D. For me, this isn't going to violate anything for me. It's not taking anything. Bitly is one you'd have to sort out. I think for school districts, some districts allow people to use them and some districts do not. So it really has to do with how your tech director sees a shortened URL. So a lot of people say, well, you can really get to a virus. I do not disagree. But your filter at your district should pick that up no matter what. It shouldn't be the reliability of a Bitly. Well, people can make bad things. Is this going to stop that? Absolutely not. Instructionally, is this sound? Absolutely. Because their option is, well, they could share it by email. Yep. That is much more labor intensive for me to come up here and click share by email and to type all of your emails and put that in, right? And that's silly. That doesn't make sense. So Bitlys have been found to be very productive. People use them all over the place. So, I mean, that's part of the things I like about them, that they're so easy to use. I don't have to do anything major to make it happen. And Google used to have their own. They still have their own, by the way, the goo.gl, which was the one I used to use. What they did is they took it back and they use it for their own purposes now. So many people were using it, it was running out of character space, and they decided to take it back, which is a huge bummer. I wish when you pushed a button in here, kind of like a form, that one of the options was shorten the URL. Because if you do that in a form, you get an option. It's not anywhere near as short. It's not a few characters, but it is shorter. A note about using a Bitly. Bitlys do not go here. They go here. And the reason for that, in their address, it is an HTTPS. So it's a secure site, HTTPS. So what you've made is you've made a secure site. And they are case specific. Which is usually why I try to change them and make them custom, as it's easier to type a word than it is to type like to lowercase e, uppercase v. That's a little harder for students. So I tend to put a word in there. And if I'm working with students, I almost always make my name all uppercase, and then I make the other word lowercase. It's easier for that to type for students. But you can come up with your own system that works for you. So when I do this, it's going to go to the document. There it is. So that's really important, because people are like, oh, it doesn't work. I'm like, it works. Trust me. I know it works. It really does work. So does anybody have an issue with using a Bitly at their school? Rick, were you going to say something? No? Nobody? That's good. That's
can't
awesome.
add any
extensions at all?
No, so I can't try it right now. I don't know.
Oh, you know why? You're an HFM. I should have known that. Do you have NARIC tax there?
Yes.
All right. I know your new TAM, and I just did a great big job for him. So he's going to, we're going to get that opened. So, and you know what? I think if you reached out to Rachel,
yeah, she may.
Well, she may be the admin to that. I think
she is.
Yeah. So, you had a former NARIC employee there who was of the thought process that if we use a Bitly, everybody's going to get a virus. And I looked at the person one day and I said, I don't know, if your firewall was working the right way, it wouldn't be doing that. Right. And she's like, well, research shows. And I'm like, well, that research is like 15 years old. I was like, it's instructionally not sound. I mean, this is an instructional tool to make a teacher's life more efficient. And that's what we should have. Okay, we're at our first hour. Yay! All right, next one. Okay, share to classroom. So what I like about Shared a Classroom, and you can see it's right over here. By the way, you can take your extensions and you can move them around, right? Which I really like. So if you find that you're using one a little bit more than the often, and then the often, blah, blah, blah. One a little bit more than the other, just move it. Okay, so these two I use a lot, right? So you see what I just did. I'm going to do it again in case you didn't see it. I'm going to click on that, Share to Classroom. And it's going to say, oh, what? You want to share to a classroom? Well, yes, I do. And I want to share it to this one, the classroom examples, okay? So it says, oh, look at that. I can push this example right to my kids. It does have this little thing right here. Share this extension with your students so they receive your links. So I'm going to push this to my students.
She's gonna hate that she gave me her cell phone.
Is it Rachel?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Say, that's okay. I have Rachel's number too. Do you want me to nag at her?
Oh, no, I just sent her a text, but she gave me her cell number because I needed a new Chromebook
Yeah.
that I could actually write on.
Gotta use my imaginary paddle. So you can see why you either love this or you don't love this. Okay. I kind of,
think that's cool.
I love Move It. I just do because I think it's really good for my sanity. Sometimes it makes me do stuff and I'm like, yeah, Lori, did you get wall sit? This girl ain't wall set in years. And if I tried, it would be funny. We'd want to take a picture of it because it would be very cute. So now that you've experienced Move, I'm going to turn it off. Oh, no. I just did the wrong thing. I want to go in here. I don't have a free wall in this room. That's really funny. I'm just going to turn it off so it's out of the way. Okay. So I forgot where I was. So I'm in Google Classroom. I'm going to push that out. I think it opened another. I might have lost it in my process of going here. So let's go here. I'll go back out. We're going to push it to the classroom. Yep. So in here, I can create an assignment right within it, right? And I may say to the students, please read through this assignment, through this slide presentation. Pick two you like. So now I'm doing like a slide presentation. What if it was just an article that you found for your students and you wanted them to go to the website and read it, right? That's a great way to do it. So there's a couple tricks in here that are really cool. I can assign it to more than one class at a time. Oh, love that. Just like we can in classroom normally, and I can assign it if I had multiple kids in the classroom, I can actually differentiate the instruction right here. So I'm going to just kind of go through my options. So here's my typical, right? Yada. These are my directions lately. Here's the materials. They're just only going to view it. You can see this looks like a regular Google Classroom push through. I'm not going to put any time on it. I'm all good. I'm just going to assign. So then, takes a minute. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go look at my classroom. Excuse me. And it was this one right here. You can see that I have an assignment. And there it is. So I really like that. So what are some other options for using this? There are things like if I was going to go into, say, I'm trying to think of something good. I don't have much good, Edutopia. Okay. So this might not be the greatest. Maybe for students it's not great, but for right now it's okay. Okay, here was a good one. How to teach financial literacy games for high school students. Maybe you're having students write a game. That, that's kind of a fun thing. Students were going to write a game. That was one of the tasks you gave them. Actually, Rick, this kind of sits in pretty well with what you would do with your kids. You're going to have your students make a game. So here's some options. And you were like, oh, this would be great for my kids, right? I could literally I could go like here, I pop right in. I assign it to the classroom, right? I'm just going to assign it, push it out. This is a great one, right? Oh, yeah. I really put a lot of effort into that one. And I'm going to push it out. So it's so simple to do. I like the ease with which it allows you to do something. I also like the ease of which it allows you. So if this was something and you had given your students like, create something for students next year in a financial literacy class. And two of the kids were going to do a game. you literally could just assign it to 2 kids. So it's still giving you the ability to differentiate that instruction. You can either assign it to all your classes or you can do differentiated instruction to new students. So I just think that is a really invaluable tool for anyone who is using Google Classroom. It just makes the functionality of being out somewhere, finding it, not having to grab the link and taking it in and putting it somewhere. You can literally just push it right to them. All right. So that's my next one. I love the ease of that one. It makes life simple. The next one. So Google Meet Gridview. I don't know if anyone's using Google Meet. I'm not going to be able to do Google Meet because right now I have you in WebEx. But when I come over here, can you see my grid view now for all of you? So Rick's in the top corner on the left. This is the way that I see you right now. This is the equivalent within. It kept kicking me out of the meeting. You tried the grid view. So now it's interesting that you say this, Lori, because there are multiples. So the one that I'm picking is, let me go look, because there are multiple options for grid view within Google. And I did a little bit more digging last night. Meet grid. I'm going to look. So this was the one that I believe I had installed the first time. It didn't work for me. It's got really good ratings, but it's only got 402 users. So I was like, okay, but it looks pretty good. So there are multiples out there, but look at this. So this one was updated. So there's a lot of pieces in here that you kind of have to look at. So it was literally just updated 2 days ago, right? 4/7/2020. So this is a new update. Okay, so that might be number one of the issues. If I go back and look at some of the other ones that are here, this is the one that I think I installed the first time. It had 8,000 issues. This was updated yesterday. You're seeing that Google and these third parties, which this one is useful to us, they're really doing a lot of work to make sure that they're functioning in the right way. And I think the one that I picked is this one, because this is the one that came through because it's got 3 million users. Okay. So while the other one had higher ranking, it was only used by 412 people. This one's being used by 3 million people. And it's been updated pretty regularly. So getting kicked out is definitely an option. I think that it can occur. So what I would say, Lori, you just kind of have to know the name of the one you're in. So if this one works, what I would do is uninstall it and reinstall it, try that again. And quite honestly, like I said, my Google in the last 3 weeks has been on the what we would call the wonky side of wonky. One of my teammates described it like this. Planet Fitness sells a lot of gym memberships, never expecting everyone to come to the gym at the same time. Well, Google has just hit the same problem. We are all at Google at the same time, using it at the same time. So, really, we're like pushing its infrastructure pretty hard. And if you'll notice, we have times during the day when things are better than others. Like for me, the 7 to 8 o'clock. So 9 to 12, 9 to 2 is a hot spot within some of the Google components, because that's when you're seeing a lot of people are in school. Number one, New York City gets on. Most of those kids are in school at 9. They don't come in early like we do. So then they're in a little later. Things really do kind of slow down a little bit. And 9 to 2, so that it starts to pull in the rest of the United States is coming in, right? So everybody else is off. We're just kind of dealing with everybody here. And I think that's one of the things about, this, whatever I call it the thing, because I don't know what to name it, because it's just craziness that we're in right now. we've never really been in this kind of situation before, ever. And I hate to use the word unprecedented, but it definitely is. But when we think about it, it's not just like a part of the United States. Like in the US, it was like, you know, there would be a hurricane in the south, or we had the ice storm in the north, or we've had things like that. But we've never had anything that was like worldwide or United States wide. So to see everybody kind of go down at one time and then everybody tried to teach at the same time, it's just been, I use the word a pile of crazy. So, but you know, we're all making it through. All right. So I like the grid view because I can see everybody at one time. And I totally have to tell you, I didn't know that I could do that in our WebEx, and that kind of makes me happy that I can see all your little pictures right here and I know who's here. So that's super helpful. Again, Lori, uninstall it, reinstall it, see if that works. Try a restart on your machine. If you're using Chromebooks, especially those with students using Chromebooks, you want to have your kids restart those machines at least twice a week. Google is pushing out constant updates, and the way that a Chromebook updates is that the restart takes, there's 2 OSs that run it at both times, the one you're currently using and the one in the background. The one in the background is the latest and greatest. As soon as you restart it, they switch, the latest and greatest comes out, and a new one starts to populate in the background. So that's always important. So if a student's device starts to run wonky, like I can't do this or it doesn't let me do that, almost always a restart will fix it. And I'm finding even my own device, which is, you know, it's a pretty good, we have pretty nice Dell laptops. We have Inspiron Dell laptops. They're pretty good. But like yesterday, I did a Meet, I did a Zoom, I did 2 Zooms, and then I did like 4 WebExes. My laptop needed to restart. I was trying to make it do too many things. It's just, you know, we're pushing their functionalities pretty hard. So I'm finding that I'm always turning it off at night. I'm turning it back on in the morning. I'm restarting midday. I'm restarting mid-afternoon. So it's just become a habit of mine now. I mean, at some point my laptop's going to be like, okay, it's all good. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I could get a cup of coffee when I make it happen. All right, so we're going to move on from Google Meet. The next one. So, and if anyone, let me go find something. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to not stop sharing, but I put an article up for our team the other day on Google Meet that I'd like to add into this so that you have it. It may take me a few minutes to, you know what, I'm going to open that up, and if I see it, I will grab it. I think it's valuable for you guys to have in regards to some of the things that can happen within Google Meet. Is that better? Okay, did I just drop off the face of the earth for a minute? We're all so lucky. Oh, okay, thanks, Rick. Rick's like, ah. All right, so what I did is I turned my camera off, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you Screencastify. So Screencastify is a screen recorder. This is not the only one out there. There are tons of them. So Screencast-O-Matic is one. Loom is one. There's lots out there. Your district will have a preference. Screencastify, we do believe, is EdLaw 2D compliant. I said we. I have heard through the grapevine that is EdLaw 2D compliant, but if you're using it as a teacher, it doesn't matter. If you're having kids use it, then it's a different story. As a teacher, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to be able to record my screen, just like it says. It's going to Castify my screen. And what I like about it, the reason that I chose it, it's ease of use. I told you, I am all about simple and easy. So what I wanted to, oh, there I go. Amanda loves it. So I'm going to go turn it on. It's the little arrow up here. It's going to give me options. It's going to say, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to use to record? Do you want to do your browser tab? So that would be the tab that I sit on. I rarely do the browser tab because it's only one tab. I almost always do my desktop. It gives me access to everything. I could also do just the webcam. So the minute I turn on my webcam, which I don't have turned on right now, so I'm going to go to desktop, turn my webcam back on. It would do just me. So if I was looking for a way to read to my kids, that's what I could use. That would be the option that I would use. And it does not look like it wants to let me. No, it's all right. So we'll see if this works because I tried this the other day and oh, Catherine's using Loom. That's a really good one as well. So I'm just going to record. They all work the same way. So I'm going to push record. You'll see a button will pop up right there. It's going to say, what do you want to record? Which of these screens do you want to go? So this is screen 1. I'm going to take screen 1. I hear a ping, ping, ping. And there it goes. Hi, everybody. Today we're going to walk through Screencastify. You see that I've turned it on. It's pretty simple. Da, 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 da. Stop sharing, okay? So it's really quick. What I like, it's an automatically feed right into your Google Drive. So it sets up when you add this extension. Oh, thank you, Rick. That's a great tip in there. When you set up the extension, when you add it, it will walk you through the process of setting up what it's going to grab. So it's basically going to have access to your Google Drive, and it's going to make a folder in there, and all your videos are going to go right in there. That's why I like it, because it's simple. And then what I can do is I can copy the shareable link. I can publish to YouTube. That's quite honestly what I've been doing. I've been taking my videos and pushing them to YouTube directly and then saving them there and then deleting them out of my Google Drive so I don't have to worry about it. I can share to Classroom. So it's always free. There's always a free version. And the free version is 10 minutes of recording, and you can do 50 a month. Now, before this, I used to say to teachers, that is more than what you will ever need. That's not so much the same answer, but I think they've gone free for everyone, and I was going to check that out, and I didn't, and I'm pretty sure it's like, thank you. Sure, go ahead, Lori.
Okay, so day before yesterday, I got an email from the Screencastify because I signed up for the unlimited version till the end of the year.
Yep.
They now have another thing that is like an extension to Screencastify. It's called Screencastify Submit.
Yes.
And so it's like a link to your students, and they click on the link and it will allow them to record themselves. And as soon as they hit stop, it'll push it back to you into your Google Drive, like they're submitting an assignment. So I put it on my Google Classroom yesterday. I haven't had anyone try it yet. I just gave them a simple little task, like find something around your house that shows a half and a third and then record it quickly, just because I want to see how it works for future. But I thought that was really cool that as long as they have something with a video cam and a microphone, then they can record themselves relatively quickly.
Yeah. Thanks, Amanda. I was going to bring that up because I had just gotten the code yesterday. I have purchased, we have a purchased account, so I have full access because of all the videos that I create all the time. So this is a great way to just really record for kids. And what I'm highly recommending with people, keep them short. Number one, we don't know people's bandwidth. We don't know what people are using. Some kids are using their parents' data devices for goodness sake to do work. We want to make sure we keep them as short as we can, quick and concise. It's better to give them little snippets than it is to give them big snippets. That's just the way it works, unless you're going to post them to YouTube. So this session today is going to be about 2 hours. So I'm not going to send this to anyone. It is way too long for me to do that. So I'm going to push it into YouTube, and then you'll have what you need for that. So I think I like it for its ease of use. Anything that a student asks you, I highly recommend you make a video for it. If a parent asks you something, make a video for it. It really, you get over, if you don't like looking at yourself, don't worry about it. You notice that I have gotten better at these. So I would say over the years, I listened to some of my original videos that I created and they're awful. Oh, they're so bad. I say a lot. And now I've gotten much better at it. You get better the more you do it. Don't worry about what you look like. A lot of people get all wonked out about that. Your kids don't care. They just want to see you. They don't care what you look like. So, just make sure you're clothed. That's the main thing I always say to people. Make sure that you're school appropriate and that, if you are going to record, try to make sure that you have a background that's not too much. So I've been keeping my lights on because it's a little dark if I don't. But just some of those things to think about. Not anything major. You just notice I can come right in here. I can name them right in here. So if I'm looking for them in my drive, I can really easily find them. I just think it's one of the simplest tools to use. Screencast-O-Matic is also pretty simple, but this is the one that I like better. So this is the one that I highly recommend. So I'm really excited that you're trying that out, Lori. I want to see let me know how that goes, because I was trying to get onto Twitter last night and I was still working at 8 o'clock and I decided that I was stopping. So let me know how that works. It'd be interesting. I'm not sure that I would have a lot of times that I would use the submit back to me. Teachers don't like to do videos. They get all weirded out when I ask them to do things like that. It's very.
If I could add one thing.
Sure.
One of the things that we're doing at Northeastern Clinton is that we have an actual shared Google Drive for all of our instructional staff, and what teachers are doing that are proficient with certain applications, extensions, whatever the case might be. We're actually recording video and we're popping them inside of this shared drive, and now all of our staff has access to that, and they can see how to become more efficient as they're using these pieces of technology.
I think that's a great idea, Rick. I love that idea. Kind of, you basically crowdsourcing out your own PD right into your own staff. So creating that, that expertise right within house, I think is a great thing as well. That's awesome. Okay, so the next one we're going to is my favorite and least favorite at the same time. So it's read and write for Google Chrome. So here we go. I'm going to go into my Chrome. And I'm going to make sure that I have it turned on. I'm actually going to go into a document that has a lot of stuff in it. So let me open up my drive and let me find a document that has a lot of text. Oh, you want to read my letter of interest? No, probably not. Let's do this one. I'm going to open up this document right there. So I can't believe that. Okay, I was like, that could not possibly have been written in something else. So here is my thing on blue bots in the classroom. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go turn on read and write. And I'm pretty sure it's turned on. It's just, oh no, I was able to turn it off. Oh, thank goodness. Read and write for Google Chrome. I'm going to turn it on. And then I typically have to push it to turn it on, and then it turns on, and I have to push refresh. So I know lots of people love this. I just have found that it drives me bonkers. And here we go, because it's already misbehaving. I find that it does not always do what I want it to. So I know it's turned on. And it should, there, it's coming now. There it is. Woo. I wasn't patient. I'm never patient enough for it. All right, there it is. So it's another toolbar that gets extended right up here. So you see all the pieces here. Now I have a free version. There is also a paid version of Read and Write, which gives you more functionality. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to push the play button.
BlueBot, all the functionality of original BeeBot, but with a Bluetooth connection that allows for you to program the robot using a tablet, iOS or Android apps, or computer. Terrapin logo. Teaches a basic
So to just stop it. So basically it's going to, oh, Danielle, I don't blame you. I don't like the voice either. She's just annoying. So it has the ability to read to your kids. What we're finding with some of the older students that have one-on-one aids that have, so especially in the system, are there certain fonts that work better? You know, Rick, yes, I would say so. This is not a great one because I just pulled any document through. So I would say it's not going to change the way it reads, but it will help, you know, definitely reading through. I'm not sure it loves a script. So you have pause and stop. So you'll see that in my version, I do not have all the toots and whistles. Like I can't highlight that was weird. I just clicked the wrong thing. In the full version, you can highlight, and one of the things you can also do is, this is why I don't like it, because it takes too long to come on. And it's supposed to be full. It should automatically happen. It does not. It's I don't like it. I like what it'll do. In the full version, you can highlight, like if you didn't know certain words, like if you didn't know this word, you'd be able to highlight it, and then you'd be able to highlight this one, and then you can actually collect your highlighted words. Rick, I don't know if there's certain fonts that work better, so I would say larger is easier. And I know that some people have turned this so it's a sidebar. So you also have options in here. You can change the voice, by the way, Danielle, but you don't have tons of options. I mean, you could use Australian English, Karen. Let's see how that sounds, just for fun.
Functionality. Bluebot. All the functionality of original Beebot, but with a Bluetooth connection that allows.
Yeah. So you do have those options that you can make some other pieces in here. You can make some other changes. Now, someone used this the other day, and I absolutely loved it. And they had it down the sidebar, and I think I'd be a lot happier if it was down. This is dead space anyway in a dock for most cases. So I would like that better, but I don't think it exists in the free version. But you can speed it up, you can slow it down, you can change its language. Some people love it, some people not so much. It will read. I think that has been an issue for a lot of students who are needing a scribe. In a real situation like we were at school, you cannot record. We cannot record our own voice with a full version. No, because I believe it's a text to speech. It's not a speech to text functionality. So we do have, there are other things out there that are speech to text. So, I mean, Docs has that functionality. So you could just, you know, use the speech to text functionality for Google Doc and then turn on this to read back to you. This also has the ability to, you know what? I take that back, Rick. There is an option in here. You can push it and the student can read to you so you can hear their fluency, and it will record and send it to the teacher, but it's recording what's here. So it's not like what we would call a full text-to-speech functionality. Are there better text-to-speech options? That's a hard maybe. We'll go into that, I think, at the end, Lori. So that's a hard maybe. I may have one that you like better. So we'll look and see. In the paid version, and in a regular school year, I think a teacher can have you can have an account and you can use it like in a regular school year. And then when it gets to, if you try to have too many kids using it, they get a little wonky and they want you to buy the account. And I found that most districts that purchase accounts, they end up purchasing it for a whole school because it's actually cheaper to purchase it for a whole school than just a few students. But then you do get a lot of functionality when you have the full version that's in there. But the trick is it's wonky, and it's a little too wonky for me. And it may be because I have a free version, so maybe that's why. But if it may do what you need it to do. All right, let me keep going. The next one. So Google Keep to Chrome extension. So if anybody knows me, they know that I am a Keep fanatic. My girl loves my Keep. And I turned it off and I didn't put it back on. So here's Keep. So I'm going to show you what Keep looks like in general. I am doing trainings next week on Keep. If you've never been to a Keep training, I would highly recommend you get to it. It's Monday morning at 8. Sorry, it's a terrible time. But Keep is Post-its on steroids, and you can see that I use it for lots of things, lots and lots and lots and lots of things. But it has a lot of functionality in itself that, I mean, I can actually take notes, right? I can make to-do lists. I can create drawings. The Keep app is actually the default app on a Chromebook. If you have a stylus and a tablet, that's where it goes to. So this will push this in. If I was an elementary teacher, I would be using this to have students draw pictures, there was a rainbow challenge just a little while ago, and I would have students draw rainbow challenge things because, that's just, I'm a little weird. You can actually change a few of the colors in here, not all of them. I think there are a few more options available now, right? So I am not using a stylus. This is me and my mouse. And let me tell you that I'm not a great drawer, right? What I like about it is simple. I would come in and I would do that. And then I would actually have my students they would write down here, right? So if you teach younger students, I'm not even to the extension yet. They would write down in here. So if you were younger students and and I always think like pre-K, first grade, they draw a picture and then you write down at the bottom. Kids could still do this. They could do it on different notes, on different Keep, and then they could save them, and then you can print them and you can put them in things. And Keep is very underutilized. Keep is an app. It's an extension. It's an app on your phone. And it also is embedded into the other Google products. So if I come up here and go to a doc and I make a new doc, and then I'm going to the extension, you'll see how they all play together. And I come here into, there's a sidebar in docs and slides and mail. And I do this, my latest Keeps are going to come in, and then I can just insert them into the document just the way they sit. So I really like that. That functionality is pretty simple. So this is how I like to use it as an extension. So I am out doing my, my daily trek through the internet, and I find something. And I find this article from Edutopia, and I'm like, oh God, that's awesome. What am I going to do with that? Like, I want it, but I know that I don't know what to do with it right now. So I come up to my extension. There's a picture of it, and I can take a note in here. So home learning, and I could say add to resources for teachers, and I can take a few notes on it, right? Really simple. And then I also have these labels set up. So, because there can be all kinds of, I have lots of ideas in here. So I might do a teacher tool, and I can do multiple labels. In true Google style, it gives me the ability to add more than one thing in here. So let's just say I'm going to do like these those three different things. It's gone now. Like, where did it go? So when I come back to my Google account, it's right here. So the extension links to my Google Keep account, and I've set up all of these extensions, these labels, excuse me. So this is not hard to learn, and I really highly recommend. Did I create the labels? I did create the labels in that list. That is my list, right? My personalized labels. So if you think about that for kids, right? You literally can have a label for all your kids. You can do this. So the reason that what the labels do is when I have something like this and I archive it, and it is going to go away. Like I take notes. Let's say like this one. Here's one. No, I got to do one that matters. So anything that has a label on it, I can I can do what they call an archive to it. And when I archive something into a Google Classroom list, here's all my Google Classroom resources. They're all on one page. It's literally Pinterest for adults, okay? And I just like it. I was using lots of different ways to organize. This is something that works for me. So while we talk about that, within the app for Keep. So if I turn on the Keep app on my phone, right, there is a microphone. There's a microphone in here. Yep, there's the microphone, and it will record anything I say, and that will automatically feed right to my Google Keep. And I really love that functionality. This is a very, very good speech to text functionality. Okay, so this will come back out and it should load, and then it should load. Oh, it's much faster than it was the other day when I tried to. It should come through. I'm not sure it came through for me. I might not have saved it. That's Virginia's mistake, not, that was Virginia's mistake, not anybody else's, because I'm a dodo head. Okay. Perfect. All right, so that should load. There it is. See, I like that. Could you take notes in a meeting and then keep it? You absolutely can. You can do anything in Keep. Keep is like the bomb. I'm just telling you. So you saw how I brought that document in. I can bring any Keep, right? I can bring any Keep into a doc. So why, for me, for kids, this is a powerhouse tool. Using that extension with students allows them to do research, and then they could be in their, they should be in their document working through it, and they can be looking, you can find out. So what if I'm looking one that was just classroom, like I can't find it. I'm like, I don't know where it is, right? And I just start to look and I find, I'm like, oh, maybe that's what I want. Maybe I want to pull that in. So you see what I'm doing? I can literally pull things in really quickly, right? So I can find, oh, I'm like, oh, there, let's pull this in. That's a picture I found somewhere, something I wanted, right? See how easy this is? This is a picture that I took on my phone. I like that. That's 8 o'clock on Monday, right? 8 o'clock will be that PD. And I'm not trying to sell a PD, but Keep is a powerful tool that most people don't use. So that's a really, I love the extension because I would teach my students how to do research with it. I started to do this at Sam & Erber, and the kids were like, oh my God, it's so easy. It's so much better than index cards. I'm like, I know, and you can't lose them. And they're synced and they're every way. I mean, they're everywhere. You don't have to worry about ever losing them. And quite honestly, if you want to learn how to use Keep, put it on your phone and use it with your spouse for shopping purposes. That's how we started, because you can do like a Dropbox in there as well, which I think is really fun. Like you can make things like this. You can turn them into check boxes. This is also wonderful for students with disabilities who have a hard time with big tasks. You can cut a big task into multiple pieces. You put it across their screen in 3 different keeps, and they can check off the pieces as they go. So like they can check this off and then it's done, and then the next one's done, and then it's next. It's easier. I like to call this bullfrogs and tadpoles. My former boss used that term all the time. You take the bullfrogs first and then you worry about the tadpoles later. Do the big things first. Okay, so that's Google Keep. That's like a favorite one of mine. Okay, the next one is called AdBlock for YouTube. So if you are annoyed with YouTube videos, which pretty much is me all the time, I use a lot of YouTube. I read a lot of YouTube. I learn from YouTube all the time. And the less I get annoyed when I watch it on my phone, because I cannot put this on my phone. So I'm going to just load this one right here. Okay. Look at that. No ads. Look at that. No ads. Look at that. No ads. They just don't run. So with AdBlock, so this might be more for you more than your students, but I think that is a huge one to have because it literally removes the ads that are popping up in the corner, and you get more time So, I mean, some of them are 5, and now YouTube has put the new thing in, like on a mobile device, it's 2 ads, and it drives me insane. I hate them. So it also removes them from the inside, which is very valuable. So you're not getting an ad in the middle. So also that goes along with this one is Ad Block Plus. Now, I'm a huge proponent of an ad blocker. They're like pop-up blockers because they keep stuff away from me. So this, I believe, I have to see where it is. I'm believing this is my ad. Yeah, this is Ad Block Plus. So you just watch that little circle right there. And I'm going to go to the king spot of all advertisements. When I hit enter on this, I'm going to CNN.com. Watch the number climb right there on that. Oof, there's a lot today. There's 61 ads on the homepage of CNN. And an Ad Block Plus blocks them all. So the Ad Block Plus also works in YouTube. So those are 2 separate things. You can use Ad Block, or you can use Ad Block for YouTube, or Ad Block Plus for everything. So Ad Block Plus is the one that I choose to use because it will block everything. It'll do YouTube ads, and it'll do anything else you find. Now, you may go to some sites that say, hey, that's how we make money. Do you want to whitelist us? Do you want to turn us on? So I will literally go to my Extensity, and I will turn it off. And then, yes, and the Keep training is through Model Schools. And I think it's called Company with Keep. I will turn it off so that I can get to that site, and then I will turn it back on. So I have it. Okay, all makes sense? So that's just a functionality that helps me be a little bit more efficient. All right, next one. I'm worried we're going to run out of time. Okay, so Forest. So this one is called Forest, Stay Focused, Be Present. So it sits over here. And this is how Forest works. So I'm going to log in. And I can't remember my login, so I'm not going to log in, sorry. I'm going to use the basics. So it has the concept of a whitelist, blacklist mentality. So I'm going to set my time for a certain amount of time, and the idea is to grow a forest. And it really is to get you to be able to focus on what you're trying to do. So I'm going to just make that a little larger. Hold on for just a second. I had a human just walk in my house. I'm wondering who it is. It's my husband. Okay, so you have a whitelist, blacklist. So on the blacklist, here's the things that I am not allowed to use during a planting season, like when I am trying to do things. So you notice what I have on there, right? Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to put on Twitter too, because Twitter's, I'm bad. I'll go off into the Twitter land and I won't come out, right? Because it's way more fun to read that than do my work. So when my blacklist is going, it means I can't go to these 4. So when I have turned Forest on, it will not allow me to go to those 4 sites. On my waitlist, so I can also put a waitlist on. So I can only go to certain places during my waitlist. So if the only place I wanted to be in was drive.google.com, because I needed to work on a presentation, I could do that as well. So what's the purpose of this? So the purpose is when I come in and I turn it on, right? If I click the tree for the next 10 minutes, the only place I can sit is right here in work. This is really good for kids that can't focus. It's great for kids that kind of go off into the la la land. Quite honestly, it's great for us when we start to do something, we need to work on a big task. Excuse me. And we fall into the great hole of nothingness called YouTube or Twitter or something like that. It allows us to have more of a focus. And basically, you start to build a forest. You start to build these trees, right? So you can see the option, like here's all the trees that I've grown so far. It's simple. It's not hard. I mean, it's not hard to use, but it is just a focus component. It is very good for kids. They love it. And because you know what? There's an end point in mind. So you're going to do this for 15 minutes. Then it's going to go away. You'll have built your tree. You'll have grown your tree, and then you'll go to the next part. So when I'm working on really large projects, I use this a lot, and I will set myself in small chunks. I'll do 20 minutes, and then I'll give myself a 5-minute break, and I'll come back and do another 20 minutes, and then I'll give a 5-minute break. That is very helpful. I haven't used it lately because, quite honestly, I have been putting out fires with a water pistol, so I'm sticking to what I've been doing for right now. But that's a great tool to use with students or yourself or your own child. Okay, next one down. So the move it we've already done, so we don't have to do that one. So I kind of stuck that one a little further in a little earlier to make it easy. Simple one. PE teachers typically like it. It's a simple one. Print friendly in PDF. So I'm going to go back to CNN to do this one. I can't really turn on Forest all the way. Oh, thank you so much. Yay. Caffeination. So I can't turn on Forest all the way because otherwise it overtakes my computer and I can't do anything else. So I'm going to go into an article and I'm trying to find one that's not terrible. So it probably wasn't the best. Oh, let's go to sports. Okay, look at this. NBA to televise a horse competition. That just sounds like great, right? Awesome, fantastic. So here's an article. And you see all the advertisements are out of it. But there's still a few things here that I might not want. So I'm going to come up to this extension called Print Friendly and PDF. It's right here. And what it's going to do, it's going to create a PDF of this document. So you see what I have here, right? It still has pictures. What if I don't want that? Okay, so I'm going to hover over it, and it allows me to get rid of it. And I'm going to come over to the next one, and I can get rid of this one. Maybe I got to see a red box, and I know I just saw it. It was here. I clicked on it, and it went away. So if I was looking through too, I could be like, okay, maybe there's some things in here that are not appropriate. So look how big the article was. Look how short I got it down to. So this is another one I think is really valuable when we're trying to find resources for our students and we want them to do some reading and we need to get them something in a manner that's a much easier way to do it. I've always used CNN because I feel like social studies teachers were always those teachers who did a lot of printing of articles, especially current events. So a lot of people are still doing current events. Nothing wrong with that. This is a good way to do current events and to get it into a manner where it's a little easier to use, right? And they're not printing the 13 pages of advertisements to get wasting all the ink. And quite honestly, either are you. So there's three things I can do in here. I can print it. I don't have a printer at my house, so that's not going to work. I can PDF it, which is I highly recommend, right? I can PDF it here. I can just save it. It's going to be a PDF and I can download it, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to download it. This is how I use it because what I like about it, and I'm just going to save it right there. I'm not going to change the name, but then I'm going to open it up and show you what it has at the bottom. So what it has at the bottom is not what I wanted. Oh, right there at the top. I lied. It's at the top. It has the actual URL for it. Because if you use anything that's related to news or like CNN and you find an article it's really good, like say, God, if this happens, I'm really sorry because I didn't wish it on anyone. If there is an earthquake somewhere and you're like, oh, it was a really interesting earthquake and you were a earth science teacher and you wanted that content to use later, it's really hard to find the article later, but you could use print and friendly PDF and you could pull it in, you could save it, and then you'd have it for later. So I really like that. I use it a lot. I use it a lot when I find articles for teachers that I want to share with them because I can strip out all the pictures. The pictures are nice, but I don't always need it. And this allows me to make it a little more streamlined for them. Okay, next one. So this may be the one that I think is a better reader online. So this is a brand new one to me. I learned it yesterday. I have always used Immersive Reader, but it is a Microsoft tool. It's a really good Microsoft tool. So the name of this is actually use Immersive Reader on websites, and then it's in quotation marks, it says unofficial. So I was like, okay, because, all right, it's a Microsoft product that's allowing it to be used on Google. So of course they're not going to have an official. So it looks like I have to go find it because it's the one that I left over here. I might have turned it off and not turned it back. Oh, no, I don't think I turned it back on. So I'm going to go turn it back on because it's easy. Use. Hi, Ashley. Use. There it is. Oh, it was over there. So I'm going to turn it on. Use right here. I'm going to turn that on, and this is what it looks like. So it shows you how to turn it on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a website. So let me go back to CNN. I'm going to close this window. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go backwards because I want to be in something that I can read right here, and I'm going to turn this on. Okay, so it says to get, okay, I got to get that out of the way. To get started, just select some tests on your website, right click and choose help me read this. Ready? So here we go. So right on here, we're going to go back out, highlight some text, right click on it. I forgot what it said already. Help me read this. Jeez. So it's pretty small. Let me make it a little larger because, you know, Rick, I see you putting on your glasses and I agree with you. It's pretty small. Right click on it. Help me read this. Ready?
The proposed competition of horse among NBA players is taking shape with Chris Paul, Trae Young, and Zach LaVine among those expected to participate.
So I have a lot of things turned on. So I have, so in here, there are some options. I can change the text size. I have it pretty large, so we don't need it that large for one thing. You can actually change the color and the font. These are better fonts for most people to read than some of the other ones that are put out. You can change the color functionality, right? If you would rather see green, if that's better for your students. You have some grammar options. Right now, syllables are turned on. I can turn them off so I don't see all the dots in between the words. That's not a normal thing. And you can also turn on the dictionary. So if you don't know what according means or what the word is,
According.
so it'll tell you what it is. They also have, this might be a hard one too. No, I'm trying to see if they have, like, the picture dictionary is a little harder. Plus they have line focus. This is a really good one for students that are having some visual acuity issues. This is a great accessibility tool. And it's pretty easy to use because of the way they've left it. So all you literally have to do is just highlight text, highlight, right click, help me to read this. And it just brings it right in. I really like that. So Immersive Reader is really a strong, strong tool. It typically has only been available for Windows 10 users. So the fact that they've made this available, it's actually only available for Windows 10 users using Bing. So the fact that they have this unofficial component is an excellent tool for our students. It's not taking any content. So that is the part I do like. It's not grabbing anything from anybody. It's just allowing you to read what's out there. That may be a better one. So I think Kate or Danielle, I'm not sure who said they didn't like the voice that they had. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was Danielle, didn't like the voice as much. This is a little better voice. I don't think you have a lot of options. So sorry. I would love to tell you that could give you better news, but that's one of them. So the next one is a brand new one to me. This is called it's called Tab Resize, and it is right here. So when I click on it, it says, what do I want to do? And it says, maybe I want to do this. See what it automatically does? It splits my tabs. So not all of you are blessed enough to be able to have two screens. Now, some of us have never really worked on two screens. So you play the, like, drag this here and drag this there and make that go there, right? So it kind of works for you, but it doesn't always work. So I'm showing you how to use it. So I installed it. It's right here, Tab Resize. You literally click on it and you pick what you want. So if you want 4, there you go. I got 4, right? And then what I have to do is I have to find it. Because you have 4 little ones, what I typically have to do is I have to go back and tell it, I have to push it again, and I go all back to 1. And off we go back into 1. So you'll see you have some settings in there to play with. Do you want to be left aligned, right aligned, single tab. I have empty tab opened up right now, right? You have lots of options of what you want. So let's say I want this one. I'm going to unclick empty tab. I'm going to put them all back together because I got them all over the place right now. And I'm going to do this. You can also close them out if you don't want that to be an option. Whoa, they're everywhere. So every one of my ones that I had open all went to one tab. So I'm just going to close this one out, and I'm going to close this because I don't need this. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm closing them. And I may have just made a big mistake. I don't know. Oh, let's see. So 2 rows, 2 columns, save. So there we go. So there's my 2 by 2. You can see if you do what I do, you can fix it too. So if maybe I could do 3 by 2. 3 by 2, that would make me super happy. Ooh, you can. So you can do lots of different options in here. If you just want a 1 by 1, you do 1 by 1. See, that's what happens when you break things. You figure out how to fix it. I guess 1 by 1 is not helpful. That would take me back to where I was before. So hopefully you can see that's a tool that can be pretty powerful to split your screen. I would say most kids probably need a 2 by 1, right? So we would do this 1 by 2, I think is what I want. Yep, save. So most cases people want that. And you got to see what the options were. So I'm going to put them back together. That tab resize is super valuable. I'm going to put them all back to 1. It's going to go back to my Google Drive. You're actually driving where it goes to. So if you're trying to do a drive and type on a doc, you might want to do a website. Like if I click in there, you could tell it what you wanted to do. And like I said, I don't have the answer for this one yet because this is a brand new one for me. I was using a different tool called Tab Scissors and Tab Glue, and the functionality on it pretty much stopped working. It's just not working as well as it was before. So I was like, okay, that's not going to work anymore. So I had to go back to the drawing board and look. So that does happen in extensions. They just stop working. And when they stop working, you have to go find something else. So when that happens, one of these things, oh, who just said that? It's perfect for playing Kahoot. Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah, where they need to see a board and play on their own device. So that is a super helpful one. If you're playing Kahoot with your kids, that's a great option. I'm going to go back into where I was because I lost the screen and I'm literally almost out of time. I am super out of time. Did not get as far as I was hoping I was going to get because it is 10 o'clock. So let me just look. And that was really the last one I think I wanted to make sure that you had. I saved it for last because it's the one that I'm the least sure of. Let me keep going. And all that screen clicking, I lost it. So just checking to make sure I have everything we need. And I actually have a 10 o'clock meeting. So what I do want to bring, I didn't do one tab. So let me show you one tab really quickly. So I have lots of tabs open and there are times that I want to just have one tab. So when I click it, it kind of goes, whoop, and it closes them all into one tab together, which I absolutely, can you share the Google Meet? Yes, I'm going to have to find it, Lori, and I'll throw it in the document so you have it. So it kind of condenses everything all together, which I really like. So then I can also restore them all and they'll all pop back out through the times. That's all right. Yes, I am recording, Ashley, so it's not a problem and I will send it to you. Just to let you guys know, it does take about a day for these recordings to get back. We are pushing our WebEx server pretty hard. There are usually 10 to 15 of us recording in the same hour, much less in a day. So it's taking about 24 hours to populate videos back out. So it'll be tomorrow when you get it. The only other thing I wanted to say is make sure that if you have any questions, I want you to know that at the end of the document, at the end of the documentation, what I did do is I put our Google, I put our Model Schools catalog all the way at the end. So there is a link in there for that. And the Model Schools catalog, for those of you who are using it to find trainings, is literally changing every other day. I am literally making additions to the catalog daily. So I am trained, I am pushed out right now for 2 weeks. I am offering more Google 1, Google 2, and Google 3 classes. I'm starting to go into some other things as well, trying to go more of these more specific kind of trainings for people. So they are in here. You can click into the catalog. And again, it is changing all the time. So I highly recommend going in and looking for things. And you'll see also in here, there's a statement to our virtual office hours that we are providing. So students have to have Immersive Reader on their devices in a way to record its use and post it. So Kira, if you use the Screencastify extension, you'd be able to show them how to use Immersive Reader. So we could do 2 in 1. So excuse me, this link right here will bring you into a WebEx, and there will be a member of our instructional team in that room Mondays through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. So if you are looking for an answer that you don't know, this is a way to be in touch with us. Please share this information out to people. We've tweeted it out. Really, our job is here to help you the best we can. And while the person in the room may not know the answer, they will get in touch with us and we will be in touch with you as soon as possible. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. Let me know if you need anything. You are more than willing. Oh my gosh. Feel free to reach out, send me an email, and I will be back in touch with you as soon as possible. So thanks, everybody, and I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. See you soon. Bye-bye.